the poem you mentioned there was called?
Oh, it's not a poem, it's a drinking song.
Even better. Give us the name of it again.
It's the Wee Doak and Doris.
The wee doke and Doris, just a wee dram, that's all. Just a wee doke and Doris before you gang a war. There's a wee wifey waiting
in a wee button bin. And you could say it's a brabrech moonlight night, then I'm all right, you can.
Bravissimo! Oh, I enjoyed that tremendously. I'm way too sober for this song.
Virgin Radio.
Well, today's guests have had formidable acting careers in their own rights, and now they're taking their talents to the Theatre Royal Haymarket, where they will both star in The Score, which is a play about Johann Sebastian Bach, who is summoned by Europe's most tyrannical ruler. We're here to talk about that and other things. Welcome to Brian and Nicole Ansari-Cox. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Ryan. Nice to be here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Nicole, what I love about the two of you being here together is that it's just, to me, it's very beautiful that not only are you, a couple in real life, but to be on stage together, it's a beautiful thing. It's got to be more than just work.
Well, but we are having a lot of fun.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We love working with her. I mean, I love working with her. I think she likes working with me. So that.
Yeah, he's not too shabby, you know.
It's not his first rodeo, anyway.
It's not his first rodeo.
Yeah. So who wants to tell me about the play, The Score? I've seen the posters, which are all over the place.
It's a long play to describe, but basically it's about. Shall I tell?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's basically about Frederick. It's ostensibly about Bach's relationship to Frederick the Great.
Yes.
Frederick the Great was a rather brutalized individual who became a warmonger. He didn't start out like that. He was gay. His father, he ran away with they were in cadets together. He ran away with a fellow officer. They brought him back, the pair of them. They put him, and that was Frederick Wilhelm. They put him in a cell with a window, and they cut his friend's head off in front of him in the cell. So that was the beginning of his brutalization. And what the play is about this theme, which is called the offering. What's it called?
A musical offering.
A musical offering.
Yes.
And it's a theme that Frederick has. In the middle of the night, he wakes up with the theme, and the theme tells Bach something entirely different from what the person is.
Yes.
And he tries to go ahead.
Nicole.
Basically, the king plots to show up Bach's way of not being able to conjure a fugue out of his theme. And so the other composers at the court, including Bach's son,
yes,
are trying to make a fugue out of the theme that came to the king. And, they are sure that Bach won't be able to do it. And, of course, Bach manages to not only play it and make a three-part fugue out of it, but he exceeds all expectations and exposes a deeper theme that comes out of the king's theme. Something from the subconscious, from the unconscious, comes to the fore. And really the depth of the of that comes up in the play, and we understand. We understand really the relationship of of the trauma that the king comes out
Bach
of.
Gets it. He gets it quite quickly. Because that's who he was. He was an extraordinary man, Bach.
And was he interpreting almost this, as you say, brutalized ruler's soul through music, in a manner of speaking?
Absolutely. That's exactly what he does. He takes the theme, and he's shocked when he hears the theme. He thinks, this is not what you expect the biggest warmonger in Germany.
That he has it in him.
That he has it in him.
Yeah.
And he realizes he does have it in him.
Yeah.
So he realizes that he's, in a way, a bit of a lost soul.
Yeah.
And so there's conflict. So Bach is invited to the court because the king is collecting composers, and he is probably the most famous, musician of his time.
Yes.
And he's resistant to go for many reasons, but basically he just doesn't want to expose himself, but he also wants to see his son who's there. Yeah. So there's a conflict.
So much interesting things, themes. Like, for example, this idea of the king collecting composers in the way the emperors collected writers. You know, whether it was Virgil or.
That's right. That's exactly the same.
It's
thing,
the same.
Right?
Is it the same? Just an updated version of that.
It's the same with that. He collected composers.
The way a modern emperor might collect tech bros.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. There are a lot of references that are so current, and the themes in the play, and it was already current when we first played it in Bath. It was the war in Ukraine. Now it's what's happening, you know, in Gaza, but also the oligarchs who are taking over.
And arguably a brutalized leader who brings his own childhood trauma into the throne.
Absolutely.
I mean, are we speaking the same language here?
Yes, we are.
But isn't that the beauty of art, how it can reflect the awfulness of humanity?
Well, you realise that more and more, that the best work is about reflecting the state that we're in.
Shakespeare, as you know.
Yeah, exactly. And,
holding up the mirror to nature.
Correct. That's it. I mean, that is extraordinary. I suppose in other news, I mean, when you're there on the boards together, you've acted together in theatre before, haven't you?
Yeah, we did rock and roll together.
You did rock and roll together
with Trevor Nunn.
Trevor Nunn again. So he's the director.
He's the director.
People will know him from Les Miserables, arguably as a big one as well.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Cats.
Les Miserables, you know.
Yes.
You know that Trevor Nunn wrote Memories.
As in, not a song from the play?
Yes.
Did he?
He wrote it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
he wrote it out of. It's a fascinating story.
Really?
You know, he was looking for. He wanted a number in the show in Cats, and he found this writing by T.S. Eliot, and it was mentioning this sort of and there was a whole thing about memory. So Trevor went home and wrote the lyrics to Memory.
No.
Yeah, in one night.
I always had that as Lloyd Webber or Tim Rice.
No.
No, that one was Trevor Nunn.
That's Trevor Nunn.
Not a bad residual, as his back manager might say.
Yes, exactly. As my brother would say, there's a few bits of Kelly in there.
I've never seen you singing. Can you sing? Have you a note in your head?
Can I sing?
Nicole?
You can hold the tune.
I can hold a tune.
I'm going to give it to the bat squeak of pause that you gave before you said yes. There was just enough in there that said you might need a few scoops in you before you do. Do you have a party piece? I'm not going to ask you to perform it.
No, I don't have a party piece. I used to have when I was a kid.
The Wee Doak and Doris.
There it is.
That's your party piece.
Oh, that's my party piece.
So that was a rather good, to me, Scottish accent there. Is that?
Yeah.
Have you learnt it from Brian?
The German and the Scots, they share the achs.
The ach sound.
I've never thought of that.
Loch, you know.
Loch.
It's rather easy for a German to do a Scottish accent.
So the poem you mentioned there was called?
Oh, it's not a poem. It's a drinking song.
Even better. Give us the name of it again.
It's the Wee Doak and Doris.
The Wee Doak and Doris, just a wee dram, that's all. Just a wee Doak and Doris before you gang a war. There's a wee wifey waiting
in a wee button bin. And you could say it's a brabrich moonlight night, then I'm all recht you can.
Bravissimo! Oh, I enjoyed that tremendously. I'm way too sober for this song. We got to change that sometime. So as you face into, how long is the run altogether then, do you think?
2 months?
2 months. Until the 26th of April.
Okay,
we
that's
start
beautiful.
this Thursday and go until the 26th of April.
If only people, I mean, we have camera running on this, but if only people were watching it, how you both look, you're a very elegant couple, if I may say. And you both, Brian, we spoke not too long ago about you've got a stylist now, because when you came on the TV show and back in Ireland, you were wearing a tartan suit, and I just thought, I love this. And that wasn't always your buzz, like that you came late to style.
I mean, I was, because of the show, because of Succession and a lot of personal appearances, I realised that I'm going to have somebody to help me, because I was a clothes horse disaster, really.
A clothes pony.
Clothes pony, exactly. No, clothes mule, actually.
Mule.
I know that feeling. So
this wonderful guy called Venk what's Venk's last name?
Venk Modor.
Venk Modor, who's Indian.
Yeah.
He came along and he really transformed my life.
Great.
And I realised as I got older that I can actually now wear proper clothes.
Yes.
Because when you're younger, you never know what to wear. You think, what do I wear?
Yeah.
Whereas when you get older, you think, well, I'm a certain age now, so I'm going to go for elegance.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what
you're
I
wearing
went
a beautiful, it was quite a tweedy jacket. You look like a sort of Professor Emeritus in a fine university, maybe
Yeah,
in Harvard,
yes.
Ivy League.
That'll do
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Nicole, have you a say on all of this, or is that a bit of an old-fashioned question to ask you?
Oh no, for sure.
oh.
I mean, Venk is also. I always have an opinion, and before Venk,
She was
there
known
was
as Miss
definitely
Opinion in
me
previous
helping.
life.
But we also have Laia Torkaman, who is helping us here in London, and who is helping me style. Yeah. Because we do get a lot of like wrinkles and things, and you sit down and you forget about
They've been
how you
pulling
look
at my
like,
shirt
and so
for the whole
there's a lot
morning.
of pulling and tucking and
Yeah.
no, tummy in.
Yes, I remember that from TV days, where the director would always say, "Could you just bring the shirt down?" Because
Yeah.
you tend to
And they
slow.
tend to ride up.
Yeah. Anyway, you look amazing. You met at a party, and my question is, when you met at this party, was it pretty instant, or did it take time?
Well,
No, it was instant.
it was instant.
Yeah.
Was it really?
It was instant.
Like
yeah.
one of those cartoon bing.
Yeah, it
Yes,
was. But
absolutely.
of course, one
It
couldn't
was
do anything
bizarre.
about it because.
No, I wrote in my diary that night, and I said, I met this older actor today, but I felt attracted to him. It was buzzing, and this was only one meeting, but we were talking, dancing. We had so much fun that night.
But she was going out with somebody else at the same time.
That's okay.
So that was
And
difficult.
he was going out with somebody
Thank you
else,
for
so-
clarifying.
Yes.
But circumstances changed that allowed you to be together ultimately. But
Yeah.
did you get a sense at that time? I mean, it's like something out of
Well,
the.
it was a great. I remember. Well, the most embarrassing thing was that later on we were touring. I was touring King Lear and
Yeah.
Richard III with Ian McKellen, and I went to Milan. Was I in Milan to start?
Milan,
No.
yeah, it was
I went to
Milan.
Milan, and I was sitting in a restaurant, and Nicole came in, and I immediately stood up thinking, "Oh, she's come for me," and I thought, "Oh no, that's not right," and I felt like a right.
My lover was just behind me, and he was going, I came for him, not for him.
The most unfortunate.
Yes, it was unfortunate.
Where are we going? Nowhere. Sit back down again.
Exactly. It was that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And then, 8 years later.
8 years, 7 or 8
I always get this wrong, so she has to tell.
That's okay.
8 years later, I was doing art on Broadway, playing play art, and I came in one night, and the stage door was going. And Jerry had this kind of voice like this.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, Brian, this really good-looking broad came in last night, and she left a little note in your cubby hole up here. Really, she was quite a broad, And I'm going, oh, thank you, Jerry. And he said, yeah, that's her note. So I looked at the note, and I swear to God, I had this moment of, I knew my life would change. As soon as I saw the note, I thought, oh. It was a weird feeling. It was the weirdest feeling I've ever had. Actually.
Otherworldly feeling.
Yeah, I just thought this is my destiny. I thought, and I was kind of woof.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even seen her. I mean, I just got the note.
I mean,
and then
I could have changed in 8 years,
Yeah, that's for sure.
And then we went through this rigmarole of me ringing the number, because it was before mobile phones, so
Okay.
it was all call waiting and all that stuff. So I rang the number. She wasn't there. She was at a yoga class, and it just happened to be on 7th Avenue and 59th Street, and my theatre was on 45th and 50 and 7th Avenue. Yeah. So I said, it was a long kind of thing. Oh, hang on, somebody's on the line. Oh, okay. So I hung on. Then the guy comes in, the company manager comes in, and said, "You've got a no-show tonight," which meant that I had a ticket that somebody was supposed to.
Okay.
So there was I had a ticket. So then finally, Nicole gets on the line, and I said, "Look, if you can get here," it was because it was very late. I said, "It's now 10 to 8. If you can get here in the next 10 minutes." You can come and see the show. And she ran. She came all the way.
I ran down, the curtain opens, and I immediately knew that it wasn't just about the play.
Yeah.
I immediately knew.
Gosh, the drama, the goosebumps. I can't bear this.
Yeah.
I know.
It's
It was nerve-wracking, actually.
I'd say it
yeah.
was because you weren't children or teenagers,
No, we
you know,
weren't anymore.
and yet, but to be fair, love will do that to you.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
brings you to a place without age.
Yeah, exactly, and
Yeah.
that's what happened, and so we got together, and of course I did a very bright move. I didn't
tell
know
me
it at the time,
immediately.
bro. No, I
was
took a
very
tango
smart.
dancing.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes,
He
yes.
pulled all the
Oh,
right
he
cards.
did. And did you know
Yeah.
that Nicole liked dancing?
No,
or
I knew she liked dancing because I'd danced with her before, so I thought, this might be an interesting.
better do a few lessons?
Yeah, so we went tango dancing, and the guy who's a friend and who was our teacher was a guy called Paul Pellicora, who trained Al Pacino in Scent of a Woman.
That famous dance.
That famous
Oh,
dance.
my
That
goodness.
Paul did that. So,
And you pulled out. Are you smoothie, Brian?
Yeah, yes, I know.
I'm so impressed. I love the way he's looking at us
Very
both going,
suave.
look what I did there.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
honestly, you're like a teenage boy.
Yeah, I
It's
know,
brilliant.
I know,
It's
I
great.
know.
Do you like to read? Are you still, I mean, I know you read. Do you read as well? Are you a reader, so to speak? Do you find yourselves, can you read on a train or a plane and love each other's company at the same time?
Yeah, well, yeah, we
Oh,
do.
yeah.
We're very.
We love silence. but,
Yeah, we do, and we.
I mean,
yeah,
except the TV is always running when he's in the room. But
yeah, because I watch TV.
No, that's okay.
TV is a great comforter for me. I actually realized. I kept thinking, why do I love the TV so much? But when my dad
I
died,
remember this.
But-
You were popped in front of the TV when
That's
your
right.
dad died
That's
instead
right.
of going
You
to the
remembered?
funeral.
Oh, my God, Brian.
And no, I really remember because it stayed with me. And you've told me this, and it was such an. Sorry, I'm telling you your story, but it's just as proof that I listen sometimes.
well, you do. You're fantastic.
No,
You really are.
my point is that stayed with me because you were. It's the power of a moment that you were plonked in front of that TV. Without that moment, you might have been an actor, you might have appreciated acting,
no.
and you might have maybe annoyed your partner a little less later, many years later. But that was a pivotal moment, clearly. And that's why you love the TV running even now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a comfort.
it's a comfort thing for me.
It's remarkable.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing.
lucky
job.
he likes old movies, and I love old black and white movies.
You can't.
Yeah.
It was Billy Wilder. Can we talk about him for a minute?
We were
Yes, please.
We
We
were
just
just
watched-
watching a whole program on the making of Something Like a
Some
Heart.
like it.
Right,
hot.
so there's a great book. I'll write it down for you when we're finished here, by a guy called Jonathan Coe, called My Summer with Billy Wilder, and it's a fictional book. This young girl, and she ends up spending a summer, and he's making a movie, but it references all the Dial M for Murder. Is it a double indemnity?
Double Indemnity.
Excuse me. Witness for the prosecution,
Yeah.
the Charles Lawton,
Yeah.
and. I went back and did a deep dive into all these old black and whites, and you are watching Masters, aren't you?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you are.
You guys, you're
Just-
both your. I got 4 eyes lit up when I said
Yes.
Billy Wilder. You really
Yes.
appreciate
Oh,
that.
yes.
He's,
No, he's
absolutely.
the
The
best.
best.
He really is.
you're going to have to
I
have
mean,
a Billy
in
Wilder
comedy, for
season
sure.
now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would
It's
be
one
something.
director I would have loved to have worked with.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, look, we have to leave it there for now. We could talk all day, but I love Nicole. What a pleasure to meet you, and thanks
It's
for
so
being here.
lovely to meet
Yeah,
you.
It really is nice,
And you know,
Ryan.
our king is played by Stephen Hagen, who's Irish.
Well, that's a lovely green Hibernian cherry to put on this beautiful German, Scottish, Irish cake that we make today.
He's wonderful.
I'm
He's
glad to hear. I
Yeah,
can't wait
he's
to see
fantastic.
it. For those of you listening, we have been talking, among other things, about the score. That'll be playing very, very soon. As you say, it kicks off Thursday, 20th of February till April the 26th. Tickets available at trh.co.uk. I'll be in the front row seat applauding 2 wonderful actors. And Brian, I'd nearly say a friend at this stage, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, you can.
It'd be my
Indeed,
pleasure.
Brian.
Thank you both indeed. So, Brian Cox, thank you for being with us today. But also, and sometimes some would say more importantly, Nicole Ansari-Cox, thank you for being here, and good luck with it all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Virgin Radio.